Man, there was a lot going on with this movie. I just got out of watching One of the Days, starring Kiki Palmer and SZA making her debut on the big screen. Um, not a lot of people talking about this movie. Um, but for the people that have been talking about this movie, I've been seeing them compare this to Friday, and I'll have to just come out and say, absolutely not. Does not compare nothing to Friday. I can see where they're going, but no, like they'll never reach. This movie does not reach the humor of like Friday, but not to say that there's not good things in this movie. I was kind of surprised for the most part. There's definitely some issues, some problems with this movie that I have. But I'm gonna get into all of that. So pretty much the story here is Kiki Palmer and SZA are roommates. They go by the name Drew. That's Kiki's character, and then SZA plays Alyssa. They're obviously both roommates. Drew has aspirations of being a franchise manager at the spot that she works at, and she just has really big goals. On the other hand, Alyssa is just one of those best friends that, just it's kind of like an airhead. She definitely kind of acts that way. She's not the most brightest person, to be honest. She just likes to kind of fuck around and, just have dudes in the crib and whatnot, which leads to them having an issue with paying rent because of a character that goes by the name of Keyshawn that comes in, and he has the rent money, and Alyssa's dumbass gives him the rent money, and he's this kind of bullshit artist. Like, he wants to be this entrepreneur, but really he's like a bum. He likes to mooch off people. So now it's like, we don't have the money for this rent. We got to track this guy down to get the money for the rent. And now they go through all these different scenarios where they have to get this money up before they're evicted. And it's a cool premise, even though I will say one of the biggest issues for me is there's too much going on with this movie. I feel like there was too many characters. There's a lot of like just cameos that could have just been cut. That's just like, okay, you just popped in here just to kind of make an appearance. I get it. You're trying to recapture those like old black comedies that would have a lot of just the big people or just the popular comedians of the time or just popular people in general. But it's just too much going on where I thought there's this character that comes into play that's like the antagonist. She goes by the name Bernice the bully, and I won't spoil too much with her, but I was like, that's a really strong antagonist. But then it's just like, damn, we're just introducing so many different characters and so many different plot lines that a lot of them just fell flat. And not to say that the performances from Kiki and SZA weren't good, because I do think that there was moments where there was some genuine good acting going on between them two, and I gotta give props to SZA for her like kind of first time I've seen her ever act. I think that at times that she outshines Kiki in this. And like I said, Alyssa's character is somebody that will annoy the fuck out of you just because it's like all this shit is happening because of your dumb ass, and you just keep making things worse for us. But then it kind of has this kind of 180 towards the third act. And there's so much going on in that third act. I was just like, wow, that's just insane. And Drew over here, I feel like there should have been more of a believable kind of thing going on between her and Alyssa, where she just lets her kind of slide and doesn't really press her about the matter, because it's like, you're dealing with rent here. Any realistic person wouldn't just kind of brush that off. So what ends up happening to Alyssa at one point is just like, yo, she deserves to get her ass whooped, to be honest, yo. Like, because she's fucking up the bread and whatnot. She should be taking accountability for this. So, the dynamic between the two, I think, works. And I could definitely see if this movie does well, they could probably do a sequel. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people checking this out in theaters. I do, however, think that this might be one of those movies that over time, for just like a younger generation, they might, really like this movie, or might become like a cult classic, similar to like an ATL or something like that. Even though at that time when that movie came out, it had a lot more people kind of talking about that movie. But the same thing could possibly happen here. I just feel like the story's a bit messy. Overall, still entertaining at times. I think the jokes could have been tighter. I think this movie had a lot of potential where a lot of things kind of fell flat. A lot of the humor kind of fell flat, especially with some of the cameos. Like, one cameo that was a little lackluster was Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? He was a little lackluster in here. My favorite cameo in here was Tony Baker, bro. He probably had the funniest moments in the movie, in my opinion. Just a lot going on with this movie, but I would recommend checking this out if you're just looking for a comedy to watch over the weekend. It's not absolutely terrible, but it's not like that great. It's pretty below average, I would say, in that area. But I'm glad I watched it. Either way, I had fun with it. What I did find fun about it, some things just didn't hit with me personally, but it is what it is. I want to see what SZA does next. If she really takes this whole acting thing serious, I think she has a potential to be a really good actress in the future if she really wants to go down that route after music or something like that, or do both. But anyways, let me know how you guys feel about this movie if you get around to checking it out. So next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.